Anna Devane's disappearance does not unfold like a sanctioned mission, a tactical extraction, or any of the calculated maneuvers that have defined her years in the shadows. It begins as a violation. She is not briefed or escorted, she is poisoned. The world turns thick and warped as the drug courses through her veins, the room slipping in and out of focus while metal cuffs bite into her wrists. When she wakes, there is no familiar safe house, no WSB insignia, no handler sitting across the table with a sealed folder and limited time offer of redemption. There is only a locked door, a bolted chair, and a voice echoing from hidden speakers, calm, theatrical, and chillingly familiar, promising that everything will be better once she surrenders to what comes next. For a woman who has spent her life disentangling lies from the truth, this captivity is engineered with surgical cruelty. It weaponizes her memory, her fears, and the ghost of one man who has never truly released his hold on her. While Port Charles believes she has been summoned away by a classified directive, Anna is being taught a different lesson entirely: that even legends can be rewritten, from the mind outward. As Anna's reality is broken down inside that sealed room, Jack Brennan steps onto the stage with just enough authority to make his story sound plausible. He receives a call that allegedly comes from Anna, a controlled, detached voice stating that she is engaged in a high-level operation requiring immediate departure from town. He relays this to Laura Collins with professional precision, dressing the lie in the language of urgency and secrecy that the WSB has always used as armor. Yet Laura's instincts, sharpened by a lifetime of surviving schemes and tyrants, refuse to accept the performance at face value. This is not how the Bureau reclaims one of its own. There is no paper trail to match the supposed orders, no verifiable confirmation beyond a voice on a line that could be engineered, coerced, or manufactured pixel by pixel and note by note. Something inside her recognizes the pattern. When facts don't align, someone is constructing a narrative, and that narrative is almost never designed to save the hero. Beneath the cool surface of Brennan's explanation lies a deeper technological dread. In a world of quantum surveillance and synthetic identities, a voice is no longer proof of life. The sound that claims to be Anna may be spliced from old recordings, run through generative systems, or read from a script at gunpoint. Every syllable could be a weapon meant to redirect suspicion and buy time. That possibility shreds whatever comfort might have lingered for those who want to believe she is safe. If Anna is being used as a puppet, what script is she being forced to recite? And who benefits from removing one of the sharpest minds in international intelligence from the board while making it look like her choice? The answer may be written not just in the halls of the WSB but in the stain left behind by a man the world has tried, and failed, to bury. For Anna, the torment goes beyond physical confinement. The disembodied voice that filters through the room is not merely instructive, it is intimate, taunting, carefully pitched to scratch at old wounds. It invokes history. It evokes promises never made yet deeply feared. It speaks in tones that mimic César Faison, a name that has defined some of her darkest chapters. Whoever designed this wants more than her cooperation. They want to unmake her confidence in her own perception. If she starts to believe that Faison is alive, if she starts to react to him as if he is truly back, her rational defenses will fracture. They are not just isolating her, they are curating her reality, distilling her world down to one terrorizing possibility: that the monster who once devoured her life has not only survived death but is now reshaping her future. Back in Port Charles, the stakes sharpen around Emma Scorpio Drake. Anna's granddaughter, bright and hopeful, has always been one of her deepest vulnerabilities. The nameless architects behind this operation understand that all too well. A single veiled threat against Emma, subtle, insinuated, or broadcast over that same hellish sound system, would be enough to force Anna into compliance with any demand. If they tell her that silence will spare Emma, she will hold her tongue. If they tell her that obedience will guarantee Emma's safety, she will sacrifice her own. This is why Laura's doubts matter. If the town swallows the cover story without question, no one will be looking for the pressure points being used to control Anna. No one will realize that her love is being forged into chains. The possibility that Faison himself is involved hovers like a storm cloud over every unanswered question. Official accounts insist he died, that his reign finally ended. But official has never meant final, in a world where bodies vanish, identities fracture, and death is as negotiable as loyalty. His prior obsessions with manipulation, identity theft, and experimental science laid the groundwork for horrors that long outlived his supposed demise. Cloning rumors. Neural conditioning. Psychological reprogramming that blurs the line between autonomy and possession. It is not hard to imagine that a man like Faison would design contingencies, a network of loyalists, algorithms, and off-the-grid facilities tasked with resurrecting his influence if the world ever dared to forget him. If those mechanisms are now in motion, Anna's abduction may not be an isolated crime. It may be the ceremonial opening move of his return. The timing of other returns only deepens the unease. Britt Westbourne and Nathan West stepping back into the narrative is more than a nostalgic nod to the past, it plays like a deliberate echo. Siblings bound to Faison's legacy, each scarred in different ways by the man who shaped and shattered lives with equal fervor, become living reminders that his story was never fully resolved. Their re-emergence invites a brutal question. Are they back to help dismantle what remains of their father's darkness, or to reveal that they have been unknowingly folded into his endgame? If someone is trying to convince Anna that Faison still stands behind the curtain, using their presence as emotional leverage would be a masterstroke. She would see them and feel the gravitational pull of history, whether or not the mastermind is flesh, ghost, or machine. If Faison has survived, through escape, surrogates, technology, or the unholy fusion of all three, then his obsession with Anna would not return as a simple game of cat and mouse. It would escalate. The phrase, "new life," repeated like a promise through the metallic speakers, twists into something predatory. A new life not as a free woman, but as his constructed ideal. Partner. Trophy. Experiment. The grotesque fantasy of binding Anna to him in a mockery of marriage becomes entirely believable if we consider his penchant for ownership masked as devotion. There is a sickened logic in the idea of brainwashing her until she no longer resists the role he has carved out. Not killing the woman who defied him, but converting her, rewriting her, forcing her brilliance and moral center to bend until she smiles at the chains. The methods to achieve such a transformation are no longer the stuff of comic book villainy. Faison's rumored human experimentation projects were always about more than science, they were about dominance. Mind control serums, immersive hallucinations, identity splicing, and now, in a more modern frame, AI-assisted conditioning that can insert his voice into every thought and his image into every memory. Anna, strapped down and drugged, may already be navigating an engineered labyrinth, a choreography of sensory manipulation designed to erode her certainty until she accepts his narrative as the only stable ground. If cloning technology is in play, then the nightmare fractures further. Is she being groomed to accept a counterfeit Faison? Is a replica Anna being prepared to walk back into Port Charles, aligned with his interests while everyone believes she has simply returned hardened from another mission? Jason Morgan's prior insistence that Faison was gone, Brennan's certainty, and the official records that closed his file all become suspicious in retrospect. Were they lied to, or did someone above them choose to withhold the truth? If Brennan now stands at the crossroads of information and deception, his role is more ambiguous than ever. Is he a loyal operative out of his depth, parroting the lies he has been given? Or is he complicit, knowingly feeding Laura a fabricated cover to buy time for the people holding Anna captive? The moment he presents the classified operation, as fact is the moment he steps into moral quicksand. If Anna is being conditioned or cloned while he maintains the illusion of her safety, he is not just part of the problem, he is part of the prison. Laura's emerging skepticism, then, is not just a character beat. It is the last line of defense between Port Charles and a narrative engineered to neutralize one of its greatest defenders. She must decide whether to trust the institutional voice that has failed so many times or the quiet alarm ringing in her own mind. If she pulls at the wrong thread, she could expose a conspiracy that reaches into the WSB itself, implicating allies and dismantling faith in the systems they have leaned on for years. If she hesitates too long, Anna may vanish into whatever twisted future has been designed for her, step by step, memory by memory. What makes this unfolding story so terrifying is not just the possibility that Faison lives, but that his legacy has metastasized. Even if the man himself remains a corpse, the ideology he embodied, control through obsession, science used as shackles, love warped into ownership, can live on through protégés, data, and machinery. Someone out there believes Anna Devane is not a person but a prize, not a soldier but a symbol to be corrupted. For them, the perfect victory would not be her death, but her transformation into something unrecognizable, standing beside the enemy with glassy eyes and a manufactured smile. Until someone in Port Charles refuses to accept the official story, until they ask where she truly is, who benefits from her silence, and why her supposed mission feels like a eulogy, the trap will keep closing. And when the truth finally erupts, whether with the revelation of a living Faison, a corrupted institution, or a meticulously crafted double, It will not simply test loyalties. It will redraw the line between the dead and the living, between the free and the programmed, and force everyone who loves Anna to confront the darkest possibility of all. That sometimes the horror is not that the villain returns, but that he has already found a way to live inside the hero.